Welcome everyone to another episode of our Profit Max podcast. And today we're going to start talking about, rather getting the expert advice of a senior banker. So to try and understand the impact of funding and financing in these difficult times. So I'm going to pick the brains of the Executive Director of Affin Bank for Enterprise Banking, none other than Mr. Lim Kee Yeong, KY Lim for short. So welcome KY.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for inviting. Such a pleasure to be here.
Thanks for taking the time to be with us. So today, like I said, we're going to cover off, the impact of the situation on the SME sector, as well as, get your thoughts and ideas from your vast experience, get some ideas from you. And we'll do that in a minute, but let me just introduce you to the audience, if I may. Just take a moment. So Mr. Lim Kee Yeong is, like I said, he's the hang on. All right. So Mr. KY Lim, like I said, is the Executive Director of Enterprise Banking for Affin Bank. And he joined Affin Bank in September 2016. It's about 5 years ago, I guess. The responsibility to develop and implement strategies that drive the growth of the enterprise banking division of the bank. He holds a master's in business administration from Wichita State University, Kansas. And under his leadership, Affin Bank Enterprise Banking's unique differentiation initiatives, including the bank's digital flagship initiative, that have gained local and international recognition for its contribution to supporting the Malaysian SME ecosystem. KY brings with him more than 27 years of experience in banking and finance, primarily in commercial and SME businesses of both local and foreign banks. He frequently participates in speaking engagements on SME business-related topics as an industry expert by invitation from business associations and government agencies. So like I said, we are very happy and privileged to have you with us, KY.
Thank you.
And if I can just start the session by asking you, what is the significance, or why is the SME sector so important to the Malaysian economy?
Well, I think these are general knowledge in some sense, but let me share some information. Well, first and foremost, we all know SMEs, statistically speaking, contributes roughly about 40% of the nation GDP. I think that is not new to a lot of people. It's common knowledge.
Yeah.
And I think what is also important is they hire roughly about half of the country's workforce. Okay, that is significant. Then on top of it, I think every big businesses today, chances are they started probably as an SME. So that is a material part of the ecosystem. All of us have to realize you got to start somewhere as an SME. As you grow forward, you reach some stage. So to that effect, the SME itself is we can't say SME itself is a sector by itself. It contributes a lot to the entire ecosystem, even as a key supplier, as a key stakeholder, as well as a key vendor to a lot of big businesses as well. Yeah. So as an entire ecosystem, SME is unable to be decoupled from entire economic landscape of the Malaysian economy, for that matter, in the world. Hence the government has paid a lot of attention to these sectors many years ago. So since many years ago, then we have reached this stage. I was told at some point in time in the past, many countries come to Malaysia to learn how we grow SMEs along the years. So as it is, of course, we are still growing, and hopefully these sectors or this segment continue to remain pivotal segments of the economy, Malaysian economy, both from GDP point of view as well as from employment point of view, which is very critical. So needless to say, you and I are talking about it because of its importance for mere fact of that.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, some statistics say that the employment contribution of the SME sector is about 60 to 70%. And the big,
Yeah.
because they don't contribute so much in terms of the value, in terms of GDP, that's about 40%. But in terms of employment, because I guess they're not so automated, they still rely a lot on manpower and things like that, no? So the big guys, the big manufacturers, the multinationals, they may have 2,000 workers in their factories, but the 2,000 workers can produce millions and millions or billions of turnover. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you're
You're
right.
absolutely right. No? The whole supply chain, whether they're vendors from some of these big guys or whether they're standalone operations, is really, really important. So that's crucial. So taking that into account, KY, looking at the current pandemic situation, no, and a lot of them are really being hammered left, right, and center for no fault of their own. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think they should be doing to kind of weather the storm? Given all these vulnerabilities that they're facing, no? And perhaps more importantly, how can financial institutions like banks help them most in terms of where do they need capacity and capability building, no? Yeah.
Okay.
So That's a,
Well,
that's a big question. There are two parts. One
yeah,
is
there's a big
identifying
question.
the challenges, and the other part is what areas they need to improve. Lah.
I think over the last 1.5 years, I think since the first MCO back in March or April last year, there are many people have been providing advisors of opinion and what to be done. I think it is all over the web and papers as well as readings is many to go. Which people can read up.
Yeah.
If I may sum up most of these things, it surrounds core topic of around three or four things. None other than first and foremost, people most likely talk about digitalisation. Okay, that is the foremost of everything. I think it has been overemphasized many times in many forums, dialogues, and sessions. I wouldn't want to say that it is the only answer. It's probably one of those core answers that the SMEs need to go to. But having said that, I personally also understand not all SMEs can do that. In a sense that they can fully digitalize, automate. An example, if you are producing chemicals, or for that matter, as an SME, certain part of the chemicals thing, you just can't sell your chemical online. That is impossible. Okay, so you probably need to automate in some part your payroll, your delivery systems, your contracting, all these things, so that you may able to improve productivity or reduce costs from that angle. But for those that have that opportunity to sell online, definitely there are plenty already available. And I think there's nobody need to mention any specific thing. It is already so common. There are also SMEs that we have gone onto the website or their web page themselves to promote their own product. Well done to all these, and many of which have actually survived over the last couple of 18 months or so. Now, to the question of whether how do they weather the storm, I'll probably say that we are already in the eye of the storm. So probably, hopefully, we want to exit the eye soon enough. We are not going into a storm, we are already inside the eye. So it spiraling and all these things. So it's how do we hold tight and move on. Now, it's from various angle, either from my perspective, just now core thing of digitalization, understanding your priorities as a business, being the second one of those second things, and moving on to other things. If I were to say priority, perhaps is preserving cash flow your priority, making a little bit more sales out your priority, or for that matter, is it your workforce protection your priority, or your physical premises your priority, depending on what is it that you need, or paying a loan is your priority. It really depends on business to business. So set the priority correct, so that you know that these priority will bring you out from the storm and continue the journey forward. Okay. So I mean, really depends. Retail market, and a good example, the recent so-called FMCO, certain industry are allowed to operate. Okay, perhaps food, they can operate by do delivery. But I've been talking to a few food operators. Say this delivery thing, although it helps in covering costs, it will not help them to survive long term. That is quite impossible. So while the importance of your priorities to ensure that business keep ongoing, you got to list down your second priority, make sure you start to cut costs, start to manage somehow your operating needs, and also at the same time how to generate other income to complement what you need to do. So list down the priorities that's required. Then from that you can make a conscious or informed decision what you need to do. I probably think that a third core of what is to be done is to look at your workforce management. My honest opinion. A nicer word is people's management or your human resource management kind of thing. Now, a business could have started with 20 employees. By now, they have done all the prioritization, cut there, could be left with 7, 8, or 10 people. Then these are the people that you feel that is required for you to continue. Ensure take good care of them. Bring them in as a collective thought process that we all have to survive together as a team, in order for you and I, either the employee or employer, to have business, to have a pay, to be able to feed the family. So I think it's a collective mindset in terms of what we call workforce management kind of thing, to make people understand that part of it. I mean, people still grumble sometimes, I got so much work despite a lesser pay, but I mean, there are another 10 outside who have just been laid off. We're struggling, raising white flags and asking for food bank and all these things. So there are people who have to think differently in terms of where they stand right now. Okay, so these are the three things. Fourth thing, well, there are many things. I'll probably say in my point, look at mental support. People may not see this. Coming from a banker sounds so funny. Why you talk mental support? I thought you're supposed to talk money. So no, I mean, to me, mental support is important. I have staff who come to me to say, "Hey, boss, I'm really overworked and all these things." Or yeah, I have also friends who say that, "Hey, this kind of lockdown, I think will drive us crazy." Things like that. So I mean, there must be avenue for them to express their views, or for that matter, collectively as a team, what you do in terms of giving them collective mental support. You also need to be supported, either through family members or through friends, either digitally like that or somehow or other in some allowable situation, have that understanding or chat with some professionals about mental support. Not necessarily all the time you're going to pay to go and see a psychologist, not the case, I think, or psychiatrist. So it's about maybe talking to some mentors, talking to seniors, so they're able to give you some advice on certain things. You may know what to do, you may know how to do, somehow you may not have the answer, when should I do it, or the other way around, vice versa. So these 3 or 4 things to me is top on my mind in terms of how SME should look at things. But having said that, we should add that oftentimes when we having chat at time, some SMEs will probably say, "Hey, I don't even know whether I can open my shop tomorrow because I don't have that kind of financial means to do so." This is where I come to the second part of the question: how would a bank assist in that manner, or financial institution to assist in that manner? I think short of you and I having a rich father, okay, having a cash flow to keep on pumping in. A lot of us, like myself, at least, we take a loan to buy a house. Okay, we take a loan to buy a car. And for businesses, many of them also take financing to finance their purchases for working capital purposes. I think Central Bank, Bank Negara, as well as MOF or Ministry of Finance or whatever, ABM and all these things, have been giving advice to the public or through various channel associations. Come and see the bank. Okay, there are various funds available. I think the older one has been, or for the matter, the earlier part one has been fully exhausted. There are still some left in terms of the TRF, okay, Targeted Relief and Repayment Assistance Fund. There are also still limited available on Penjana Tourism, okay. So there are still funds available, even the automation and support funds still available. And these are the funds at a relatively cheap price, and you feel that it can be used to so-called tie you through or generate certain cash flow or improve the productivity. Go and see them, okay, see the banks and talk about it on one hand. And all banks, I think with no exception, including even some funding societies or for that matter cooperative, provide some sort of relief assistance, which is provided internally. Affin provides what we call a FAIR program, FAIR, Financial Assistance and Installment Relief Program, of which when customer come, we'll reorg their payment schedule and all these things. We lengthen their loan tenure, and all these things we provide. We have done so almost to our 20% of our portfolio, which is over the last 1 year. They came and we helped them restructure, and then a lot of them have survived. I must say that through all these things, it certainly will help in whatever means. Now, beyond financial support or assistance from a bank often provide other form of assistance. A good example would be a talk like that, a chat, a session of which we can provide feedback, answer queries, and including what can be done from the insurance side, protection, so on and so forth. There are many means and channels as well as topics the bank can help cover, subject to talking to the right person in terms of the expertise within the bank, or the bank can refer to the right person. So these are a few things. And may I just add that I think from financial perspective, a lot of private organizations, including state government, provide grants to help. I think even Selangor state government provide a matching grant for digitalisation and all these things. So these are small money. It is not in millions, but could be in 10, 20,000, 50,000 kind of thing. Go explore them. We provide most of the information where possible online. Go through our Facebook website or our app, SME Colony. You will be able to see some of these. Then of course, just look at just continue browsing. Well, there are so many things can be done. I know it's going to be overwhelmed to some SMEs, but somehow or other, desperate time calls for desperate measure in some sense in that context. So hopefully this scope of information able to give SMEs some sort of overarching guidance on what can be done.
Yes. That's a very good perspective, KY. Thanks for that. So you've covered a very broad spectrum. And I guess we need to cover a broad spectrum when we talk about SMEs, because they are so wide-ranging, right?
Right.
On one hand, you got startups and micro businesses. On the other hand, you got people who are scaling up. And then on the other side, you got people who have been more established, people who have been around maybe 20, 30 years, no? So it's a very broad spectrum. I like a couple of points you mentioned. So number one, you talk about the workforce management and concern for them. I have a friend, and she's in the HR team in global headquarters for Microsoft. And yesterday I saw she posted a certificate. You know what her certificate is?
Right.
I was totally surprised. She got herself certified by a university on mental health leadership. So I said, fantastic. That's really proactive, no? So realizing that in this situation of this pandemic, a lot of people are under stress. And you could be stressed out because your parents are not well, or your kids you're worried about them, or your spouse has got a big pay cut or whatever, so there's so many things to stress you out. So in the office situation, you need some kind of mental health leadership. So that's even a bit more advanced. So how do you lead? If you're a HR person, how do you lead in the mental health, from a mental health perspective? So that's a very good point, KY. And I also was talking to the chairman of one of the big top 3 motorcycle assembly manufacturers on Saturday, and he shared with us, how he took advantage, like you said, he took advantage last year during the first MCO. He restructured all his loans, and he built up his reserves, so that when the situation gets tough, he could have a pile of funds to utilize. So what he did was, because his cash flow is good, so what he did was, in this period now, this third of, I can't really remember whether it's the third or fourth MCO.
We are now in recovery phase.
Yeah. He's taken the opportunity to pay off some of those more expensive loans, keeping some and then paying off some, no? So your point about having reserves, and I guess times like this, you can never have too much reserves. So that's another brilliant advice, no? And
I think, to your point, reserve is not about using it even during just for bad times. Reserve can be built to be used in good times when the opportunity comes. So
yes.
always have reserve. My my thoughts are it's not going to end anytime soon. No doubt the government has a plan for recovery. Even though we've gone to stage 1, stage 2, or up to 4, stage 4 the recovery phase. I mean, you and I know, I think there recently a lot of surveys done that I think most businesses, quote unquote, gave up as far as 2021 is concerned. I think it's quite a tough year already.
Yes.
And we have people looking forward to 2022. So get yourself prepared for that kind of long, and then whether 2022 you can get out or not, I'm not too sure yet. If US couldn't get out, Europe couldn't get out, and China couldn't get out, then it will be in a long haul one more time.
Yeah. I guess at the moment the big advanced countries, the only one who's really getting out is China, no? Because even the US, the numbers are apparently climbing again, no? So it's pretty bad.
Yeah, that Delta variant is not small stuff. The one is quite something critical. Yeah.
So 22 or even 23 could be the window we want to look at. So really we got to be very cautious, no? So I always tell my clients they got to do a financial stress test and see whether they have enough for the long haul, or whether they should call it a day and come back again another time, no? Because it's really, really very serious.
Yeah, your point, Peter. This calling it a day. I mean, oftentimes it's a sensitive topic to talk about when you're so passionate about certain business. I fully understand. But I mean, I echo what you have mentioned. When calling it a day can mean many things. For example, if you have 10 outlets, can you close up 7? Okay, so you have 3 running, and or you have 10. Can you go all close 10 and now become fully digital or something like that? Or towards the end, really end of the line, call it a day means that's it. I won't continue this business anymore. Sell it out for a song or something like that. Then to your point, come back another day. It is sad. It's sad. It's not an easy topic to talk about. So this may require some professional kind of understanding to do it, including the topic of VSS, MSS, this kind of thing.
Yes. Okay. All right. So looking at the what do you call the support for SMEs, beyond the funding and restructuring of loans and all that, what else can banks do to assist, in terms of advisory assistance, or perhaps some virtual courses or things like that? What else could institutions like Affin Bank be doing, or are already doing actually?
Yeah, I will take that into 2 parts. Firstly, I think in terms of what advisory assistance we provide as a bank, I think it comes from many forms. Yes, indeed, this kind of web sessions, as well as forums, including dialogue sessions with through association or regulatory bodies, is always on. That's part and parcel of it. And on top of it, if there's any specific special advice needed in terms of tax, in terms of some of the insurance things, if the bank doesn't have that expertise, we are more than happy to refer to our business partners to do so. And beyond which, within this same core topic itself, is what the bank has at least done in a different manner. Of course, I mean, I just quote some small example what we are doing in Affin. We run this app called SME Colony. Inside, there are various readings that people can take it up and do some understandings. I just want to make clear that we don't do newspaper cutting. So that's kind of thing. That's kind of thing we don't do. But having said that, we work with publisher, or we work with professional magazines, all these things, so that we extract some of their good articles and put it inside, which is not generally published in everyday newspapers. So read them through, it helps. And we also provide various forms of assistance as well as advisories through the app itself, together with our partners, or which at a discount and all these things. So all these are available. So this is one context of it. The financial institution is doing to all the partners, stakeholders, ecosystem kind of support. I would like the SMEs to look at that as one of those options or avenue available to do it. Now, secondly, that is the first part of it. Second part of it, I would like to urge also during this pandemic time, while I think we all struggle in some way, one way or another. I think take this opportunity to actually upskill and upgrade. Why do I say that? We have actually customers come and ask us. I just give you an example that hey, how is there an avenue to help me to get me halal certified in terms of my businesses? Because all this time while doing my business, I just don't have the time, don't have expertise, don't have understanding. Why not you take this opportunity to do so? I mean, as it is, we provide that kind of assistance through our app in terms of connections, dialogues, and all these things. That's one way. Or for that matter, some people would say, hey, can I spend this time, a little bit of money to get myself ISO certified in some way? So this is where we take on a very different understanding when you say learning assistant and advisories. There are two tracks of it. One track is really, I need help. How do I do? The other thing is like, can I go to the next level if I already have reached a certain level of comfortness? So have that understanding. I mean, including yourself, Peter. People can come to you again, ask for advice. We have given many good advice in the past. That is always things that two different platforms to look at it.
Yes.
On one hand, how do I get myself overcome certain challenges? On the other hand, how do I raise my game into the next level when this so-called pandemic over? When I come out from the eye of the storm, I'm already ahead of other people. Yes. So let's look at this two angles. I mean, to your point, your example, your friend, the Microsoft one, she got herself certified with a new qualification. That is getting herself better.
Yes.
From a different point of view.
Yeah. So your point is very valid, no? So one is to upgrade and upskill yourself, and then you got to assess yourself, no? What skills do I need now? Is it more planning skills, or is it very basic digital marketing skills, no?
Yeah.
Because if I take the time now to learn up my digital marketing, that's going to help me. Doesn't mean I have to do it myself, but at least I know where to start, how to start in digital marketing. Who should appoint? Exactly. What should my marketing person be looking at? Those kind of things. So that's one area. The other point you were saying is connecting, right? So like, for example, how you as a bank help your customers sometimes to get the right halal certification from the right bodies, help introduce them to the right certification bodies, point them to the right direction, at least connect them to people who can help them and support them in those areas. Yeah.
You're right.
So good. So I see a lot of that being done by Affin Bank. In fact, I see some awards that you guys have won as well, right, for your platform.
Yeah, the platform is one thing. Even our business, we provide some very unique product to give SME some basic fundamental in terms of tools to go into the market. And to take this opportunity to point out two things. We have an insurance product called SME Easy. It starts from 15 ringgit annually into the premium, but of course minimum coverage. This is for startups or small SME for them to do. And then the other product we have recently we launched a second tranche with Dana. This is where we fund businesses up to when you're up to 36 months in business to grow to the next level. So we cover lots of angle. I mean collectively other financial institutions will provide other avenue or other alternative in terms of growing. That is why the whole banking systems come about to assist and to help where possible. Of course, subject to our rules and regulations as well as what central bank expect us to do. So these are fundamentals that I think we can help. We help, okay, within the rules and guidelines. I think same like you, Peter. I think you've been helping quite a lot as well along the last 1.5 years. Thank you a lot.
Yeah. So we do what we can, and nobody has a monopoly on advice and knowledge. So we share. And sometimes when you share, you trigger off an idea from someone, and then that's how it snowballs. Okay.
Yeah. So in fact, just another point here. I was talking about this term some months back. It's not new. Phygital, physical plus digital. Okay, so I mean, it triggers a lot of questions asked. It's basically a hybrid between physical and digital. So if you are truly digital those days, do you want to consider this, or you are fully physical last time? Do you want to go into digital full time? So something always you trigger your mind, go and read it up, and all these so-called fancy terms come about. I mean, new English dictionary were getting thicker and thicker. So as the day goes by.
Yeah, yeah. No, what they call offline to online and online to offline.
Yeah.
To
Also
O.
a fancy word lah.
O and O, yeah. Okay. All right. So maybe to wrap up, KY, can I just tap into your own management and business philosophy? Running a big, huge division in Affin. What would be your philosophy and advice for SMEs during these tough times going forward?
Okay, first and foremost, it's a relatively modest division and not large at all. So, but decent enough, keep me busy. But I think the key point to me is two or three things. I think innovation is one thing lah. Okay. Now easier to say than done lah. People say, hey, people doing this Alibaba doing 3-2-1 kind of thing. I mean, I also want it yesterday, but somehow or other circumstances couldn't get it done. So we just had to look at the circumstances, and then you need to improvise it, and then so-called optimize what you can under the circumstances lah. A good example, I just relate back to SMA. Hey, I can't even find my next bowl of rice on my table. Why would I have to go and find another 10,000 ringgit, start the website, all these things? You can actually look at it from various grants available from the various state government, private bodies, and all these things. But it will not be that amount that you want, something. So we look at innovation as always top of your mind. When we have done something well, hey, can I do something even better or differently so that I can try, so we get that next level? So that's always in the top process of my team. But of course, whatever we can do, we will do within the environment. And I always challenge my team to, hey, can you do this differently? We're getting this Mickey Mouse volume and all these things. Can you look at it differently? So we always try to challenge ourselves. That is one of my major philosophy. The second point to note is this interesting word called sustainability. Always we go back to our earlier topic of having reserves, look at priority and all these things. So all this end up to me is this keyword called sustainability. I could have wagered everything in so that I can make it big over the next 3 months and all these things. But after that, after 3 months, what happened? So you're gonna struggle to find another big wager to go and wage again. So look at sustainably as a word, but the concept itself contains building reserve. Do your planning, okay? Do your plan A, plan B, plan C. What is your fallback plan and all these things? Even back time also. What is your plan A? So plan B means nothing. Just do or die. I mean, I do not know. I mean, but somehow or other. Jokingly speaking, so have that mindset in every business venture. Innovation, sustainability, and thirdly, I probably say it's the most important in my mind is people management. You ask me, I'm actually a people person, very much so like a people person versus a task person. So we have to use quote unquote your wisdom, personal wisdom, as well as wit to actually understand how do you manage your people, your team, so that they work together. Now, no man is an owl. Also, same thing. No two men would think alike. Okay, if everybody think like me, then I don't need to be here. So people can say, but it's often a challenge and a joy to see people grow. I always tell my team is, hey, one day you could be my boss. It doesn't really matter to me. So, but by then you just remember the small me that have taken you this far. Okay, so give me a cup of coffee by then or something like that. So people management is an art. I'm not a qualified HR person. Okay, neither do I have a degree in HR, but somehow or other is a passion in my blood to actually take care of good staff. Especially performing staff. There are people who couldn't fit in for many reasons. It could be job fit, could be a strictly attitude problem, or strictly a superior problem, things like that. So we will try to resolve them. Or for that matter, they just don't fit into certain organization style and all these things. So they have to move on. It's a very tough advice we give some of our team member when we sit down. So it's a big topic. We all know people management is such a huge topic. It's not an easy topic, but in the context of a smaller businesses, SMEs, probably you have 10, 20 staff and all these things, it shouldn't be that difficult. Okay, in my view. sought some expert advice or even mentors or elders, so that able to give you that. So innovation, sustainability, and people management, to me, it's an overarching topic of how I look at things. Easier said than done. Like I say, there's no quick fix to anything, but there are certainly things that we can do to bridge any gap, pending a permanent solution. Think of it that way. Well, we started this enterprise division 4 or 5 years ago with virtually nothing. So we built until today. I must say it's not a very big business, but it's competitive enough that we make our mark in the market. We hopefully things will continue to grow. Our portfolio currently still remain very healthy, and I must say that we have a good team and very great stakeholders like yourself, as well as a lot of support from the regulators and our internal management itself to make it this far. So hopefully this so-called 45-minute 1-hour session have been helpful in our quest to help the market or the SMEs in general. Okay, so anyway, I'm more than happy to take on any queries can direct it through SME colonies or through our SME care line, so we're able to assist.
Okay, great. Thanks for all those inputs, KY.
Thank you.
It shows your wisdom, your knowledge, your deep knowledge. You know, I like your 3 points. It sounds very simple, but like you say, it's very profound, very deep. Just on people management, takes a lot of management skill and a lot of management experience. And I always tell people, as you grow, as your company grows, from 5 people to 50 people to 150 people, you need to evolve your leadership, because that's ultimately very important.
Yep.
And that's a very important leverage for you if you can get it right. Build a solid functioning team, high performing team that's going to make all the difference. And look at how you can sustain your business and always have the mindset of innovation, thinking differently, doing things when people zig, you zag, so that you don't follow, but you lead. Yeah, fantastic. So thanks so much again for your inputs, KY. Really enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you so much, Peter.
Yeah, thanks for all your contributions to the SME economy as well. It's part of our
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. Okay.